It's Saturday night, December 9th, 2017, and it's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's not a fish, but it's a spanking of the San Jose Sharks taking down the Ottawa Senators 5-0. As I have the feedback coming back to me and distracting the crap out of me. Thank you very much. But welcome to this Superhero Night, Hockey Night in San Jose edition of Teal Town After Dark. We are with you after every post-game. Hi, everyone. And we just want to make sure you know what to do with this after every game is come on here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. As always, we appreciate it. And, of course, if you want to be a part of the show, by all means, here's how you do it. If the graphic wants to come on. Like that. There we go. All right. Use the hashtag there. Oh, gosh. Use the hashtag.
They're showing it right now, baby.
I know. I'm just seeing it right now as we speak. Use the hashtag TealTownUSA. Follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube. You name it. We are on it. We'll get to what AJ's reacting to in just a jiffy. But first, let's say hello to Mr. AJ Strong.
How you doing? All right, get to Rocket.
Okay. Without further ado, the lovely, talented Miss Rocket Backhander.
I'm the Butterfinger bar you bought at the grocery store. They only charged you for the regular size, but it actually turned out to be that king size 4-piece. Rocket Backhander, how you guys doing?
She's not fun size. We like her. We like her full size. No, that doesn't work. Anyways.
Oh no, I'm still fun size. There's just bonus, and you ended up with me, and you expected something that was hella basic. So good for you.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Sweet. All right. So the Sharks take down the Sens 5-0 on Hockey Night in Canada. But it's a crazy game. It was Superhero Night. Apparently, a couple of my stuff just got on pre- and post-game live. So we'll... Oh, camera's stuck on me. Why was it be stuck on me? Heaven forbid. Can we focus on Rocket instead? It's a lot more interesting.
No, we're good now. We're good.
There
I'm sorry.
you go.
You know what? It was all on me because I was too busy looking at Brody and Curtis giving you all. Brody giving you all sorts of props for your Batman, Robin graphic. The amount of props you got. Dude, I'm surprised you don't have to, wipe yourself off. You got slobbered on a lot tonight. That was awesome. That was a fantastic graphic tonight, man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
It was a good job.
And I'm still waiting to hear from the Sharks about that graphic designer job.
Yes.
So, call me. Anywho, we'll show those graphics a little later on in the program tonight. But as always, and we'll do it with the voice that I had for show number 6 of After Dark. Let's talk about this game. Yes, AJ just loves it when he can able to use that voice before. Anywho, getting on to this, Sharks really dominated this game and really got out early on Craig Anderson and the Sens. And it showed at 12:55. Logan Couture, 15th goal in the year from LeBanc and Braun to make it 1-0. My goodness, this team would be in trouble if Logan Couture didn't have double-digit goals. Wouldn't you say, Rocket?
I think this game was not necessarily so much about how amazing the Sharks have suddenly become, so much as how awful the Senators are.
Here, here.
So kudos to the Senators for showcasing the Sharks and making them look like defensive geniuses with amazing offensive production somehow, somewhere that came out of nowhere. And I'll tell you what, now we know why we've kept Dylan DeMello this entire time. Because we knew we would have to sacrifice him to the hockey gods in order to appease them.
No one will ever refer to Alexander Burrows as a god, but go ahead.
No, that had to happen. Burrows was going to rough somebody up and just make somebody's life miserable regardless. So Dylan DeMello got kept around as the sacrificial lamb so that Burrows would take him. So the hockey gods would be appeased. So that we can move on and get forward with it. So now we're going to start to see progress. But the Senators really are terrible. Oh, God, they're bad. And they should feel bad, as the hockey jerk would say.
And they should feel bad. AJ entering tonight, the Sens, I think, have like one win in their last 11 entering tonight, and I think that coincides with the trade with Matt Duchene. Yeah. You think they're regretting that one now?
No. I mean, Matt Duchene, that was a good get. I mean,
absolutely.
Didn't we see that with the Sharks, though, at some point? Like, they got somebody and it didn't work out real quickly. Oh, yeah, that's right. Bodker. We're still waiting for that to work out.
I thought you were going to say Garen, but we won't get into that. Anyways, thoughts on the first?
No, I mean, it was a great first. If you think about it, the Sharks, to me, just continued what they did against the Canes on Thursday, where they sleptwalked through the first part of that game, and then they woke up and just started drilling. And tonight they came out ready to go. I mean, the Sens went like the first 13 minutes of this game without a shot on goal. I mean, the Sharks were taking it to them. So I think Couture actually scored the first goal of this game before the Sens actually got an authentic shot on goal. So you have to be pleased with that. Now, again, everything in context. Ottawa sucks. So you can't get too crazy about this win, but it's one of those times where the Sharks actually came out and beat the crap out of a team that they should beat the crap out of.
True, indeed.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
Because I think Ottawa's record, if I'm not mistaken, the last 4 games have been they got blanked, and then they got blanked again, and then they lost to the LA Kings in a shootout, or they lost to LA in overtime, and then they got blanked by us. Like, they're just not. If the Sharks think that their production chances are bad, Senators only have about a 16th of a percentage of one of the Sharks. He's like, it's bad. Like, I feel bad for Sens fans this year. It's a rough one.
But and that's the whole thing. No, Rocket made a perfect point. The Senators have played 4 games over the course of the last 7 days, and they've gotten shut out in 3 of them.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So, Winnipeg 5-0, Anaheim 3-0. They lose in overtime to the LA Kings, but then tonight 5-0 again. So
yeah, it's a rough one for them, and this was a team that went to double overtime of Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Final.
I'm sorry, AO in the chat saying Bodker for Duchene. Wilson, make it happen. Yes, yes, yes.
Why not?
Boy.
Absolutely, yes.
Sure, why not?
I'm sorry, Puck Guy. That was too funny to not mention.
No, you're good. You're good. We are live and interactive Sharks post-game show. That's what we're here for. So let's continue on. So let's go on to the second period now, where the Sharks started to break this thing open. Had a couple power plays going on, and I think this one expired right after. Expired right after. And Marc-Edouard Vlasic, yes, the guy who we always said, why is he on the power play? He gets
Gentry's the only one who says that, but okay.
He's got the slightly late, doesn't count as a power play goal, but a power play influence goal, I think is what we call it, from Heed and Kevin LeBanc to make it 2-0 at 5:31. And then the Milkman delivers on a nice little play. He saw where the guys were going, the Joes, and he gets into an open spot to bang it home for his 5th of the year from Pavelski and Thornton to make it 3-0.
He seems to be really good at making those little diving goals.
He seems like it, right? It's like our own version of Hartnell Down. But AJ, your thoughts on the second, where the Sharks started to break things open?
Well, I mean, first, let's just talk about, I mean, a little bit of the first period, just on the Couture goal. Couture scored from that opening goal, just a beautiful pass from LeBanc. And I've been a little upset with LeBanc lately because he definitely has had this pass first, shoot second mentality. But tonight was, in fact, a beautiful pass. The second period, Vlasic, I mean, he gets that again. Another amazing pass from LeBanc. I don't know if LeBanc is going to get the credit for tonight's game that he should get, because he did really have a good game. Got some great passes, led to both of the first 2 goals tonight, and Heed had the beautiful follow-up pass. It was power play influenced, like you said. And then, I mean, Carlson. I mean, dude, it was like literally Thornton to Pavs to Carlson, and Anderson literally had no, like, he thought the puck was on the other side of the net when it went in. I mean, he was just, wait a minute, Thornton was literally just here. What just happened? It was fantastic. The first 3 goals tonight were simply like fantastic goals that we have not seen enough from the Sharks. I would give, I would consider giving Couture the first star tonight, because I did think Couture had a really good game. But if I was going to do the 3 stars, it would be Couture, LeBanc, and Timo Meier, because I thought Timo had a great game tonight too.
I was just going to say that Timo Meier, who I think Kevin Kurz kind of called out on in his Athletic article, with the young Fs trying to get their butts moving, and I think a lot of them, stepped up their game tonight. I'm sure they don't read the articles that are put out, but I mean, Kevin LeBanc had 2 assists tonight. Timo seemed to play with some spirit and played with an edge, but he played without being, going over the edge and take penalties, I think. That's what I'm getting at. So good on the kids on that one. Through 2 periods, the Sharks outshot Ottawa 31-14. I mean, that's unbelievable.
I don't know that that's unbelievable. I think ending the game 50-25 is unbelievable. But 31-14, yeah, because a lot of times, this is the thing that I will give the Sharks. You're saying through 2 periods, the Sharks outshot them 31-14. How many times would we have seen the Sharks finish after 2 periods, outshooting the other team 31-14, and then after 3 periods, it ends up being the Sharks outshot them 35-32? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact that the Sharks kept the pedal on the gas, fired off another 19 in the third. That is huge.
Yeah, and how many times have we seen that where they kind of stepped off of the gas, especially when they've only had a 2-goal lead. It's something else. So third period now, this is where things started really getting crazy here.
It's beginning to feel a lot more chippy.
Yes, absolutely. But first, on the power play, Joe Pavelski gets just the tip of a Couture shot from the point from Couture and Burns, makes it 4-0 at 3:24. Then you had that wild and crazy sequence where we thought Ottawa had scored. It looked like Ottawa scored, but they went to Toronto and said, no, they didn't score. I guess they said that there wasn't clear, concise, convincible evidence to overturn the call. Then I know. Even Randy thought
Ottawa scored. Ottawa scored.
I'm just trying to, be even keeled here. But
no, you're doing a great job, Puck Guy. You really are. But Ottawa scored.
Yeah, I was right there, and I was just stunned that it didn't. But nonetheless, Toronto, we have to take off the proverbial tin hat conspiracy theory cap for once with Toronto not liking us. And that made it 4-0. And then, of course, late in the game, good old Alex Burrows. the guy who gave you the tooth bite, the one who gave you the slay the dragon, the one who just wanted to be a bugger through and through, gets 2 for roughing, 5 for fighting in a game misconduct. However, he, and I want to pull this up really quick, but he butt-ended Dylan DeMello to the point where DeMello was bleeding. The Sharks end up getting a 5-minute power play out of it, to which Hurdle scores to finish off the scoring for the Sharks. It was 5-0, and and Aaron Dell. What can we say about Aaron Dell? I mean, it was unbelievable.
So okay tonight.
He's okay.
So okay.
He's all right.
Amazing
Super
amounts
okay.
of okay tonight.
I mean, another 25 save shutout, his 3rd shutout of his career in the NHL, his 2nd shutout on the season. So, Rocket, when do we trade Martin Jones?
Jesus Christ.
Oh, stuff it. What I want to know is, does player safety want a telephone or an in-person hearing with Burrows tomorrow?
You know what it is? It comes down to how quickly DeMello can shave that stash and make his nose seem bigger than it already is.
Oh, that's mean.
Hey, it can't be as big as Jeff Odgers' nose.
Well, the only reason I say that is because if Dylan's little smack on the wrist was deemed retaliatory, then I don't know what the complete, crunch across the face with the butt end of your stick is, if not retaliatory. So I expect player safety to, take the same course of action. And if they don't, and they just focus on giving these heavy-handed penalties for slashing, no pun intended.
As you can see from the GIF that we're showing you right now.
So dear NHL, please don't break my heart.
Well, and like I said on the Twitter machine, you can take the boy out of Vancouver, but you can't take the Vancouver out of the boy. And, this is Alexander Burrows we're talking about. Literally a guy. Okay, Eric, you can kill it.
Thank you.
Literally a guy who is his claim to fame, especially when it comes to Stanley Cup playoffs, is trying to bite the fingers of Boston Bruins players. I'm just saying. Claim to fame.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, the guy can be a talented player, but then he just gets caught up into this, and that's disappointing, to be honest.
Well,
he lets his personality get in the way of his talent. Was that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, and when you see a play like that, I mean, granted, I'd like to see it a little bit more in context. But it's just the way Burrows came up. It felt like he was upset by however he was done. Just before that, you toss in the gasoline of the scoreboard at that time, and maybe he was just kind of like, F you, and like he didn't even care at that point to swing it around. The thing is, it's like if you're going to swing it around that haphazardly, the Sharks, Brendan Dillon, just got a game for double-handing, haphazard, just being upset in the moment, pissed off, takes a swing, gets a game. Burrows has a bit more history than Dillon. And
way more.
Yeah, and Burrows did get, if I look at the numbers here, got 19 minutes tonight because game misconduct, which means call from Toronto coming. I'd like to see Burrows at least get a game for tonight. If you're going to give Timo one, I think Burrows should get one.
See what I mean? Like, I fully expect there to be a player safety call out of this.
And Gen X, the guy who can't see white ice between a red line and a puck, saying that that Burrows should get a game. I agree with you on that one, Gen X.
Yes, 18 months is only history the department computer safety can use per CBA. That's a very interesting thing, because If that was the case, then Raffi Torres should be suspended 82 games. All right, sorry, bad.
No, anything with Raffi is lifelong suspension.
Yes, absolutely. So overall thoughts, Rocket, about this 5-0 win. What do you take from it? And considering such that they have to play tomorrow, what can they build off of it?
Well, this game was sort of like the Seabiscuit for the San Jose Sharks in that it was the little beat up crappy horse that the Sharks are supposed to race, that the Sharks knew that they would win. So it's, they didn't really wear themselves out, and they really got a great morale boost out of it, and maybe a little bump in sales too, which is good for everybody. So, I mean, I can't really take too much of a spectacular technical performance out of it from anybody. All the guys looked great, and they should have, because they were basically playing like the Modesto Junior College B team. And so they should have looked good, and they did, which, like AJ said, is a vast improvement from Sharks of yesteryear, where they would skate against the Arizona Coyotes and trip over their own skates. So, market improvement. Hey, and like I said, it's a feel-good story for the fans who are just looking for a win. And now the chat's off the rails. Okay, now I take away from it a complete positive. Although not a critical success. How's that?
I say that is quite an impressive analysis. And I completely agree with you. 143%.
Rad.
Awesome. AJ, what did you take from overall tonight? Like Vlasic said in the post-game interview on the bench, the Sharks can score goals.
It happens from time to time. I'm going to put it out there just over the last 2 games. Again, small sample size. Scotch of a sample size.
Right? But I hate that I can't trust this.
Scotch of a sample size against Caroline. Horrible team from the East. Sharks go 2 for 3 on the power play. Tonight, horrible team from the East. Sharks go 2 for 7. Now, that's the other thing is, like, we can all get excited about the Sharks scored 5 goals and, like, oh, well, it was only, like, the second time in a row that they've done that this season. But this time, parade to the penalty box. But if memory serves, this is the first time this season where the Sharks have played back-to-back games where they have scored 2 power play goals in each game. This is also the first time in back-to-back games where they've scored 2 power play goals, but the second game they didn't score any shorthanded goals. Go figure. But again, I preface this.
Chris in the chat saying my sample size is not small, just stating for the record.
Just stating for the record. But let's call it into what it is. The Sharks beat the crap out of a bottom feeder of a team. Now, again, we need to preface, this doesn't happen all the time. We've seen the Sharks more than too many times play down to the level of the competition. Over the last 2 games, the Sharks played the second to the worst team in the Metro, and got the shit kicked out of them for the first half of that game, and then came back and beat them in overtime. Tonight, faced the second to worst team in the Atlantic and ran all over them. Minnesota is coming up. Minnesota, not that great. 3 games over 500. Not a great team, but this is going to be, the third at the end of the homestand that they have right now before they go on the 3-game roadie to West Canada. Let's see them continue this. But the thing that still sticks in my craw right now is the fact that, like, literally since game 1 against Philly, where they lost 5-3, literally since that game, the Sharks have not had all of their starters healthy. Martin went out versus LA and came back last game, and he's already going to do a rehab stint with the Barracuda. Like, Donskoy's out. That's huge. Bodker's on the IR. Nobody cares. Heed came back tonight, which was huge. So I just want to get this team healthy and see what they can do. Just get me through Christmas and get these boys healthy, especially Donskoy. That's what I want to see. I want to see Donskoy. Bodker, stick his ass on the top of a Christmas tree somewhere. I don't care.
Damn.
I really don't.
Damn, no chill.
And Chris pointing out, Martin wasn't really a loss, was he? You know what? I don't know that he was. Yoki has played well. He did get sat, and we've seen that actually Dylan has become the next generation of the Wookiee Whisperer, and it seems to have worked out pretty well. But damn, this is the first time I actually agree with AJ. You know what? But anyway,
it's not just AJ, it's AJ.
Yeah, I know. But Dylan's looked really good with Burns, and that's the whole thing. Man, if they can figure out if Doug, you know what? This is the whole thing. I'm just going to put this out here right now. If Doug Wilson can figure out a way to move both Bodker and Martin and get something of value back, I don't care if it's a third-round pick and that's all you get for both of them.
What if it's a 5th-round pick?
As long as it comes with like a bag of pucks and like a new costume for Sharky, I'm okay with it.
Who was rocking the Deadpool tonight, among other things tonight?
Oh, dear Lord.
Anywho. Oh, gosh. All right.
I just want to see this team get healthy.
Yeah, no, and the thing is that while they haven't been scoring as much as we would like to, they're now, 10 goals in the last 2 games. Yes, that is against Carolina and Ottawa, but they are still scoring goals. And remember, folks, in life, as in hockey, it takes goals to win.
Thank you, Jeff Friesen.
You're welcome. But that's good. And tonight maybe is something where they can play defensively sound and get the goals. I mean, that would be huge for this team, because if that's the case, and along with scoring 2 power play goals, I mean, this is where you can really make teams be dangerous. Let me try that one more time. I'm glad.
Okay, so while he's figuring that out, we have a question. We have a question in the chat. Who gets bought out first? Yannick Hansen, Mikkel Bodker. My answer to that is Paul Martin.
Oh
no! If you think about it, dude, look what the Sharks have on the defensive end of the roster. You have. When it comes down to it, it's like who are you going to start this year? It was going to be Martin and Burns. It's going to be Vlasic, Braun. It was going to be Dylan and DeMello, and then you have Heed. You have Ryan. I'm sorry, but that's you look at what Heed and Ryan have brought to the table. I honestly, I think Paul Martin, when you look at his contract, how much it is and the length that it's still the rest of this year and 2 more years. No, it's not 2 more years. It's just 1 more year after this, right?
I can look that up for you right now.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the trip to the final last year, this year, and next year. So if that's the case, I think Martin is going to be your first one, if you can, other than Bodker and Hansen. I think defensemen are at a premium. So
yeah, I
think the fact of the matter is, no, I think Martin is the first one to go with any luck. And if he likes the color yellow, God knows that Rocket has just a microwave full of burritos waiting for him in Nashville.
Yeah, come down here. We'll get some Qdoba and some Nashville hot chicken. We'll kick it. We can kick it, Paul. I'm low key, but still classy, But low key, but classy.
Yes.
We'll kick it.
Now, question: have you found a nice burrito place in Nashville?
No, I
No, she's about to
haven't.
open one.
My schedule has been so jacked lately. It's been like hopping around on three legs. It's been bad. So I haven't had enough time to get enough. I barely have enough time to get my laundry done and take a shower the same day. So I haven't really driven too much.
I think the bigger question, though, is will we see I mean, we knew going into the season that Wilson had just under 6 mil in cap space, which he has not had in like the last 5 years.
No, he's always
Are you
spent to the cap.
and always spent to the cap? And not only do you look into that, you look at the fact that again, I go back to the fact that the Sharks have not iced their projected starting lineup since game one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, game two, or game 1.5. I mean, so like, are we going to see Wilson make a move between now and Martin Luther King Day? I know before I would say Christmas or New Year's, and I feel
Right.
like I'm like, well, maybe we're waiting on Martin Luther King Day.
When is the bye week?
Good question. I'm looking at my schedule. I'm going to say between Sunday, January 7th and Saturday, January 13th is the
Okay.
Sharks bye week.
And then the trade deadline.
It's like the
End
end
of
of
February, right?
Yeah, end of February.
Okay. I think it'll probably be trade deadline at the latest because what Doug's going to do is he's going to wait until last minute to see who's available. Because
See,
I don't,
I think it's gonna be. I think you're
I
right.
don't,
I think it's gonna be that bye week that he's gonna make a decision because at
I
that
don't,
point you're gonna start to see the pretenders start to weed themselves out by that point.
hopefully. But like it's just, I think it's very Doug Wilson to wait until the last minute. It's not like him to pull the trigger too early on something like that.
Hold now, wait a minute. Hold on. Chris is saying in the chat Doug Wilson has cap room to make a move, but he doesn't really have the assets.
True.
Really?
It's
Hold
true.
on. What? Dude, there's some decent assets here,
There is, however,
dude.
like, are you
Yeah,
going to
but we
trade
need them
Aaron
to
Dell
not
right now?
suck.
I mean, you can't trade Timo because he's supposed to be the future of the club. I
No,
mean,
no, 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 no. See, you're saying you can't trade Timo because he's supposed to be the future of the club. That means nothing. You can trade Timo if the return is like Jonathan Tavares. Like if you package Timo with a pick and
sure.
somebody. I mean, no, no, no. Just about everybody on this team. Let's be honest. Who are your three people? Well, okay, no, I'll make it easy for you. Your five players on this squad that are literally off limits. It's and take into account not only what do they mean to the team, but their contracts. So it's Jones, it's Burns, it's Vlasic, it's Couture, and who's the last one? Maybe Pavelski, maybe it's not Hurdle because this is the end of his year, but perhaps Donskoy. But those, I mean, that's it. Like to me, everybody else is movable for the right price.
Right, and that's the thing is the right price, and I mean, you're not going to get something straight up. You're not going to get something straight up, but you're probably going to have something, package deal. But I mean, sure, would we love to throw Bodker and Martin for Matt Duchene? Sure, of course.
Yeah,
Ain't
but
gonna
you
happen
get
though.
but you get what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah,
there are
I totally
literally
do.
like five players on this team that are immovable, and again, Burns, Vlasic, Jones, Couture. Those are the ones that are immovable. Even though Couture's contract is up in just a year, the only other person that I would consider in that group, again, maybe Donskoy, maybe even Carlson. I'm not even sure. Probably not Carlson, but it. So it's just those four. But there is stuff that we can do. Well, I
Yeah.
say we like I'm part of the fucking front office, but you know
Well,
what I mean.
I mean, you are JT's best
I
BFF.
am,
I mean,
of
come on.
course.
Don't you have a little
Holla!
bit of it? Just wait. I'm sorry, not a little bit. Just a scotch of an opinion.
I really need to call him more often. I feel neglected.
Oh my god. Oh boy! All right,
Hey, Rocket, you talk a little now.
Hi.
to finish up the tie a bow on this game. Sharks shot 50 shots on goal tonight over the Sens 25. The slight edge to the Sharks in the faceoff circle. Sens were 0 for 4 in the power play. The Sharks were 2 for 7, including one that was a 5-minute major.
Man, dyslexia is a hell of a drug. Do you realize that you just asked Rocket to put a tie bow on this?
No, I said tie a bow.
No.
No, he did say tie a bow, but I was like, tie a bow? Billy Blanks
Yeah,
is
no,
on.
yeah, it sounded very tie bow to me.
I let it slide though, but I heard it.
All right. I'm glad I have my team to support me. 34 PIMs for the Sens, 15 for the Sharks, 27-21 in hits. The Sens outblocked the Sharks by 6, and the Sharks gave away the puck 2 more than the Sens.
Can we put it out to the chat? Like, who do you think should be or is trade bait? Like, I'd be really interested to know, like the 33 people that are watching right now, like, who do you think is the person on the Sharks right now that will get you now? Okay, again, I have to phrase this correctly. Like, within reason. The Sharks are not trading Jones or Vlasic or Burns or Couture. It's just not happening. So take those names out of your pocket. Give me something worthwhile, please, in the chat that makes me go, wow, that's a great idea. And again, I still think that Jones, Vlasic, Burns, Couture, I still say the fifth one is Donskoy, is the one that is not going anywhere. Trade AJ for pot rats.
So, for Trin.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, Chris? When you import a decent internet connection to San Diego, you can talk shit. Other than that, kiss
I
my
would
ass.
say it would have to be Hurdle, Cobra, and Dylan.
Boy,
Dylan's trying to get up there.
You get rid of those 3.
Those are nice 3.
And then you throw the $6 million at it, and then you can get whatever you want.
Couture for Niemi. Shut the fuck up. Laurel, our beautiful, probably our most beautifulest person who watches this dog and pony show, asking when is social media night this sweet season, and is it a tweet up game? Just to let you know, every social media night that the Sharks do is a tweet up, and it has not been officially announced, but based on past history, based on the schedule that I'm looking at right now, I would bet money that social media night is going to be Saturday, January 20th against Pittsburgh. And the other fun thing about that, it's one of the rare ones where the Sharks are playing at home on a Saturday and it starts at 5 o'clock. So that automatically right there guarantees you and tells you that it's a national game because it starts at 5 o'clock local. So I'm going to say that is social media night. Even though the Sharks have not announced it, I would say put that on your clock. And Rob, yes, you are beautiful in everything you do, or whatever the hell Aguilera says. Yes.
No matter what they say, words can't bring you down.
There you go.
Except for you, Ryan Reeves. You're a bum.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't listen to Christina.
Yes. Chris, have a safe flight to Toronto.
Or maybe not if you're going to keep popping off like this in the chat.
Hey.
Maybe you have a really turbulent one.
Hey.
Don't listen to him, Chris. Have a good flight.
Oh, my God.
Safe travels.
I hope they have really crappy beer on that flight.
I hope it's great beer. I hope it's amazing beer, except it might be a little flat.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm just trying to go through the chat here. Yeah, we don't know about a social media night if they are even going to have one. for sure.
Come on,
So
I'm running my entire Wi-Fi off my house's Wi-Fi off my iPhone hotspot and still have better internet than Chris and Eric.
Oh wow!
I think you can add Gentry to
big.
that list.
Serves you right to move into San Diego, fucker.
Hey, AJ. Oh my God!
No, come on, that was funny as hell.
Let's go to the NHL wraparound before we get in trouble here.
Yay, the rusty trombone.
Hold on. Get in trouble. By who?
Hey, all the love. That's all I'm saying. All right, so earlier today it was the Blues just destroying the Red Wings 6-1.
So Howard shit the bed. And moving on, no.
And Kevin Lacey's favorite St. Louis Blue, Vladimir Sobotka, got his 6th on the season, among others. The Blues are now at 42 points on the year. In Beantown, it was the Bruins beating the Islanders 3-1. Jake DeBrusk, Brad Marchand, and Heinen, who really only was supposed to score against the Sharks, got his 6th goal this season as the Islanders go down to the Bruins. In Montreal, Carey Price actually lost the game in Montreal.
It's one of the rare times Carey Price did not Cam Ward this bitch.
That's right. 6-2 the final. Edmonton takes down the Canadiens. Camilleri. Oh, man. All right. Forgive me, Gen X. Kyra had 2 goals. Milan Lucic, Clefbaum, among others that score for the Oilers.
Can we take a break for a second and discuss a question from the chat?
Yes, sir.
From Morocco 323, why would the Sharks trade Pavelski? Yeah, he's declining, but he's still one of those few guys who can score on literally one of the worst offenses in the league. You trade him if the return is very good. The NHL does not have a threshold on the amount of general managers who are willing to overpay for an asset that they think will get them over the top. Case in point, Doug Wilson. So I am completely happy to trade Pavelski. Love Pavelski. Love everything that he's done for this franchise, especially when you consider that it's literally like one of the few feathers in the cap that the scouting department can like put in the feather of the cap and say, look at this guy that we got in this, what, 6th or was it 6th round or 7th round puck guy?
7th.
So, you know, show me another team whose captain has been fantastic and was taken in the 7th round. Like, you typically don't see that. So I will give that to Pavelski, but on the wrong side of 30, Pavelski is. On the wrong side of Pavelski, yeah, on the wrong side of 30, Pavelski is. Yeah, I'm waiting for like Gen X to jump in and do a Yoda voice.
No, he's fixing my pronunciation. Kara.
There you go.
So thank you. Right. Sorry, back to
nobody. Nobody cares. Okay. But Pavelski, Pavelski's on the wrong side of 30 for the Sharks. I think Couture should be the next captain. And again, I love Pavelski. I love everything that he's brought to this squad. We all remember him like losing his mind in the dressing room during the run up to the Stadium Series. I mean, it was fantastic. But fact of the matter is, the Sharks are not a today team. And if you can trade Pavelski to a team that is going to yield the Sharks back the proper building blocks to get the Sharks to where they need to be, I'm letting them go, Rocket. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that Pavelski is like this key to the team, that he needs to be here if, you know, the Islanders were to go, yeah, we'll give you Tavares and a 4th if you give us Pavelski and a 2nd, you know? Not that would be the case, but do you think that Pavelski is untouchable is what I'm saying?
Does he have a new movement clause?
I believe it's limited.
2.
I think, what is it? I think he has to give like 5 or 7 teams that he won't take a trade to. But again, this is a Gen X question, I'm sure.
And moving onward,
What, you don't want to listen to our answer?
Oh, I thought you had answered. I'm sorry, Rocket. I am so
I'd
sorry.
asked
I
a, I
apologize.
asked a question further.
Player submits
I
a
don't.
3-team
Yeah.
trade list.
Okay. See,
That's
I
what
don't
it
think
says.
it's a dick thing. I mean, this team is definitely not poised for a trip to the Stanley Cup final. The way that they are right now, they wouldn't survive 2 rounds. And I'm being generous. I love these guys. If Pavelski can get with a better squad who gets him closer to winning the cup, so be it. That's how the sport is played. You know, they boost each other up, and if that means it's not with each other, then that's just how it plays. It would be disappointing, but it wouldn't be surprising. And if we get a good return for him, sure. I don't,
See, that's what I'm saying. He's got a player submits a 3-team trade list. So so obviously not a fantastic setup for Doug Wilson, but Pavelski's here through this year and next year, and then he's a UFA. And again, I go back to the fact he's on the wrong side of 30. So it all depends on what somebody is willing to give us. So that was a long way to answering your question. And we will now go back to talking about how the Oilers decimated the Canadiens.
They beat them 6-2. Kara got it 2 goals in that game. And Tampa Bay in overtime.
Hold on, can we just say that this was the only time this season that the Oilers actually decimated a team? Was there one other time they did that this year?
I think they took down Vegas pretty handily too.
Wow, they're probably like what, 1 of 2 teams that can admit that?
That's true. That's very true. Right. In Tampa Bay tonight, Kucherov, Sergachev, Gord, and Point all got the goals for Tampa as they go to 44 points on the campaign, beating the Winnipeg Jets 4-3 in overtime. Winnipeg is at 39 points. They're right behind St. Louis in that tight race in the Central.
Can we talk about Gen X in the chat?
Go ahead.
Even UFA status, Tavares is going to net a solid haul for the Islanders. At least a first round next year or season after, maybe a B-level prospect or second rounder.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like something Doug Wilson would pay. Especially when you consider his history.
But I don't think we have any of those.
A what? What? A first rounder?
First or second rounders for the next 2 years.
We don't have a second or third rounder for next year's draft. We do have all of our firsts.
Okay, so Doug, I don't think it's going to just flip away the first round pick if we don't have picks in the second or the third. I think we're kind of stuck with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's one of those things where Doug Wilson would literally have to say, I'm going to throw you a first, but you also have to choke on Paul Martin's contract or Bodker's contract.
Well, it's
I'm going to make you choke on something along with that. If I'm going to overpay on the pick, you're going to have to eat a little bit of a contract.
Which is what he did with Mark Bell when he traded Vesatoskla for the essential pick that eventually became Logan Couture.
Ever.
I mean, that's what it was. And Toskala, Bell and that's the first rounder, and ends up getting Logan Couture out of it eventually. I mean, there's those ways to do that. So,
and so we move on.
And we move on to a rematch of the 96 Cup final as the Avalanche takes down the Panthers 7-3. They
Yeah,
had a four-goal third period.
Hold on. Can I ask you who kicked the field goal for the Avalanche in this one? Or I'm sorry,
Goal?
not the field goal, the point after attempt.
That would be Soderberg at 1740.
Good, that's who I had in my fantasy team.
That's called a conversion, isn't it?
No, point after attempt.
Or a conversion, yes. Either way. Matt Nieto, Long Beach native. That's right, Long Beach native, Matt Nieto.
Matt Nieto is from Long Beach, California.
Oh my.
Thank you. 1-800 no 1-900 hockey. Sorry.
Gosh.
I got my prefixes messed up.
His fourth on the year to finish off the touchdown for the Avalanche as Ekblad, Malgin, and Huberdeau got the goals for Florida as Reimer takes the loss for the Panthers.
Dude, Gen X evoking Uwe Krupp in the chat.
That's right, Uwe Krupp.
Colorado Avalanche Stanley Cup winner, Uwe Krupp.
Yep, winning goal in Game 4 in that ridiculous overtime game.
Dude, I actually have a friend who won money on that where it was like, there was like literally 14 of them and they all like drew out of a hat in the in order of who would pick. And of course it was, Sakic, Forsberg, blah, blah, blah. I think somebody picked Patrick Waugh before they took Krupp. And my brother took Krupp, won the money.
Nice.
Anyway, we move on.
Excellent. Outstanding. Moving on. In Pittsburgh, it was 3-0, but the Penguins made a run for it. However, the Leafs hang on to beat the Penguins 4-3. Downtown Connor Brown, James Van Riemsdyk, Tyler Bozak with 2 goals made it for the Leafs as Sheahan, Malkin, and Crosby. That Crosby guy that, never mind.
Nobody cares. Did we talk about the Rangers and the Devils yet?
No, I'm sorry. The Rangers beat the Devils 5-2 as Jimmy Vesey, Fost, Zuccarello twice, and Hayes all get goals for the Rangers as Lundqvist gets the win over the Devils as they now go to 16-11-2.
And just to point out for Rocket, yes, Roman Polak did get an assist tonight.
Yay! Don't open the Polak door.
In Columbus, Anderson's 11th on the year, 30 seconds into the game, was the only goal as the Desert Dogs lose one.
I'm sorry, the who? The who?
The Desert Dogs. Not like he hasn't chugged enough already today.
Yeah, I know. Boy, that must have been a boring game. 30 seconds in, and that's the only score.
Man, if you were late to that one, that's a disappointment. 1-0 the final for the Columbus Blue Jackets over the Coyotes.
And no, Haley did not score today on the chat.
Aww.
In Big D, the Stars lose to the Vegas Golden Knights 5-3.
And who got the 5th goal?
Eric.
Holla!
Oh, jeez.
You guys are way too much.
Dude, 11 goals already, dude.
11th on the year.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
That's crazy. Tuke, Perron, Smith, McNabb, and...
Dude, Rob in the chat.
I'm setting you up.
Dude, I think AJ's liver might be the hardest working member of this team.
True fact. True fact.
Absolutely true. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
That's a good one. AJ is our clown. Yes, I am.
Pitlick, Spezza, and Ben get goals for Dallas as they lose and go to 16-13-1. Of course, we told you about the Sharks and Senators. In Calgary tonight, the Flames beat the Vancouver Canucks 4-2 in that one.
Kachuk puck netting 2.
And Vertanen.
No. Only Rocky can pronounce it correctly.
Oh.
Vertanen.
And
Vertanen.
Brock Besser with his 15th on the year as well.
God, I love
Besser. I think it's going to come down to Clayton Keller, Brock Besser, and Matthew Barzal for
Hold on. Who was the other
Calder.
one? You got that guy from Arizona, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Keller and Barzal.
Yeah, Keller
from the Islanders.
Brock
Dude.
Besser and Matt Barzal are like 3 syllables away, or like 3 consonants away from being porn star names.
Dude, Besser. I'm sorry. You know what? It's funny. Puck Guy and I talked about this off air not too long ago. Who did the Sharks take when they could have taken Besser? Was it Meyer?
Timo Meyer.
Oi.
Yep.
Oi. Okay, so discuss Hurricanes Kings.
Yes, the Kings pick up their 8th straight win. They're at 43 points, and I believe they now have the lead in the Western Conference with a 3-2 win over Carolina. Scott Darling takes a loss for Carolina in this one, as the Hurricanes made a comeback, getting 2 goals in 4.5 minutes, including Eric Lindholm's 8th with 2:22 left in regulation to get it to overtime. However, Tanner Pearson's 6th goal of the season with 20 seconds left in overtime gets LA to 43 points on the campaign. That is your NHL wraparound. As we jump over to the standings now, this is how it is.
It's frightening, dude. The fact that the Kings have a 9-point lead on the Sharks, dude. That's frightening. The way the Kings have just. You look at everybody all the prognosticators that talked about, and I was one of them. Everybody, if they had money, they were going to put the house on it. They would have said at this point of the season, Edmonton would have a 3 or 4 point lead. LA would be like 4th or 5th.
Yes, but if I'm not mistaken, didn't we have a 9-point lead in February last year?
Oh, hold on. Are you talking
Nice.
about?
Context.
You're talking about February. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was that time. It wasn't after the end of the month when the Sharks back-to-back won against Chicago, Anaheim, and LA. It wasn't that time. It was the one after that. Yes, you're right.
Last, yes.
Yes.
Just putting that out there for those optimistic.
Yeah.
So in the Pacific, LA's at 43 points. Vegas is still hanging on there. They pick up their 19th win tonight, so they're at 39. San Jose clings onto the number 3 spot at 34, which is the same amount that Calgary has, as they hold down the first wild card spot at 34. Dallas, with their loss, stays at 33 at the point. So, and then you have Vancouver at 32.
But let's put it in the
Minnesota
context.
at 31 and Chicago at 31 with Anaheim, and don't count out Colorado at 28, and even Edmonton at 26.
But put it into context for San Jose. You're saying San Jose is sitting in the 3rd spot with 34 points, but at 28 games played, where Calgary is just behind them at 34 points, but at 30 games played. So a nice 2-game cushion for the Sharks. And Vegas, 29 played, while San Jose's only played 28.
Yep.
But
Absolutely.
the thing that pisses me off the most is the fact that LA's on an 8-game win streak.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, every game that goes past is 1 game closer to that streak being broken. Chin up.
I'm trying, but I mean,
That's
LA,
the optimistic rocket backhander for you, folks.
dude, LA has been killing it the last week and a half. An 8-game win streak? Are you kidding me? You look it up. Any other team in the NHL right now, the best they can do is a 4-game win streak. So an 8-game win streak, yeah, that's pretty humongous, guys.
Yeah, no, it's a big one, and now the Sharks will get back at it tomorrow at 6 p.m. Remember, that's a special start, 6 p.m. for Sharks in Minnesota. Word is that it might be the return of Alex Stalock to Teal Town.
I would prefer the
interesting.
return of Jonas Donskoy to Teal Town.
Oh, it's a possibility. We shall see.
I would prefer
We
that.
shall see. But Rocket, what do you expect from the Minnesota Wild tomorrow against a team that played a pretty sound game tonight?
Yeah, I expect Alex Salek to not be able to stay in his own damn paint.
Could happen.
Very, very possible. AJ, what about you for expecting Minnesota?
Minnesota. I think the Sharks might have like a. I'm afraid that the Sharks literally are going to come out like a little slow tomorrow night. Obviously, they played tonight. They played a great game tonight against a bottom feeder in the East. I'm afraid that the Sharks are going to come out tomorrow and they're going to be perplexed during like the first 10, 15 minutes of this, saying, wait a minute, we didn't understand hockey was played in the Central and that we're actually supposed to play these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're going to look around because I think this is literally like the third time we're like 2.5 months into this season, and is this the third time? I'm good. So they saw Nashville at the beginning of November,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, Winnipeg also. So this is the third time the Sharks so far. 2.5 months in, this is only the third time the Sharks are seeing a team from the Central. Meanwhile, they've already played like everybody
They've
from
played
Metro.
11 games against the Atlantic Division.
Exactly. Yeah. And oh my God.
Hey,
so yeah,
that means that they get
hopefully-
most of those East games out of the way. Sorry.
I know. I still think it's silly. So anyway, hopefully they're not stunned by the fact that they're like, oh my God, this is a team from the Central. Who are these guys? So hopefully they're not thrown off that. Hopefully they're not thrown off by like the ghost of Devin Setaguchi or Charlie Coyle or that pick that was traded for Burns. I think they can do well. Right now, Minnesota 14-11-3 for 31 points. So, Sharks 16-10-2 with 34 points. So they're kind of, they're kind of similar in that. The big thing is the Sharks. The Wild have a losing record away from home. Meanwhile, the Sharks are 9-6-1 at home. So nice winning record. So I think the Wild can they can lose another game despite how much Puck Guy is going to root for a team that has INN in their name.
Oh my God. Can we get over this freaking thing that I'm like enamored
That you've
with
done
teams
for
that
the
have
last
INN?
3 years. Yeah, can we get over that?
Okay. I picked 1 year and then I picked Minnesota another year, and now I'm like enamored with them, for crying out McLeod. Ay. All right.
It's only because you can say Winnipeg and Minnesota.
Yeah. She's not wrong. She's not wrong. But
I know.
boy, Puck Guy gets very upset when he's held accountable to his own words.
Hey, you know what? All I ask is that we join the conversation and everybody interacts with us.
Oh, deli.
So if you did see some of the stuff tonight on pre and post game, you did see.
Oh my God, that Laurel graphic! Please put up the Laurel graphic.
The Laurel graphic
that was
first?
spectacular.
Yes.
No, do yours. Okay.
No. Well,
all right.
So first off, let's give some love for the Photoshop tonight. Laurel Peter sits in AJ's chair while he gets another beer.
Oh my God, that was I like
really good.
Dude, I snapped a shot of the Studio A. I snapped a shot of Studio A to help promote the show tonight. I had no idea Laurel would pull this out, and Laurel, oh my God, like I already had like uber respect for you. It hit a new level tonight. I mean, unbelievably awesome photo. Like that's like Puck Guy level Photoshop right there.
Absolutely. Very, very schmancy, Laurel. So kudos to you. So let's kind of go back here a little bit because
give the backstory.
The first one has to be mentioned first because that's how it started. So they were showing this graphic because they were showing the Photoshop effects because it was Superhero Night at the Tank, Marvel Superhero Night, mind you.
Yeah, and to put a bow around it, NBCS did ask for people to like submit their best Photoshops.
Yeah, so I had been hanging on to this one
and
for a
Eric
while.
said challenge accepted.
Yes, absolutely. So put that up of Captain America, the Teal Avenger, which eventually made pregame live. To which at that time, literally at that time, Curtis says, "I would like for someone to Photoshop me as Batman and you as Robin." To which was like I spent most of the game going, "Okay."
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted, and of course Curtis doesn't have the Twitter machine, so I had to tweet it to Brody, and so I said, "Hey Brody," so Curtis, and of course I was typing like crazy, so I spelled Curtis wrong the first time. Thank you for fixing that on Postgame. So Curtis wanted to see you as Batman and Robin, so here you go, Curtis, and there you go, folks. There's Brody and Curtis as Batman and Robin.
Now let me just point out a couple things while we're looking at this graphic. Okay,
please
first off, the fact that Puck Guy nailed the fonts of the Chiron, like just looking at Brody and Curtis, like you look at the masking and the way he dressed them, yes, absolutely fantastic. But I'm one of those guys that goes a little further. I look at that Chiron at the bottom where it says NBC Sports Gotham City, and it says Robin and Batman, and underneath that, ticker presented by Puck Guy 14. That is some staggeringly awesome attention to detail that should not go without being noted. So that's what I think is fantastic. And yes, this graphic was put up on the NBCSN post-game show. And if you didn't see it, go back and look at it. Go get it. Go DVR it. If you didn't DVR it, if you didn't see it, you know what? I have it DVR'd. I'm going to record it, and I'm going to tweet it out later on the Teal Town USA account because Brody and Curtis's comments could not have been more generous and just loving this graphic.
So much so that Brody Instagrammed this.
See, and exactly. The only thing that pissed anybody off was that Brody was pissed off because he thought he should have been Batman and Kurt. But let's be honest, if anybody's Robin, it's going to be Brody. Let's be honest. We love Brody, but we're just talking on a height scale.
Curtis looks like the Wolfman dressed up like Batman. Look at
right.
Even the way the shadow hits his hand, he looks like he's got furry hands.
He looks like he's Wolverine dressed as Batman.
Or he just looks like a werewolf.
Right?
Dude, my whole thing is like, if next year Brody doesn't... I know that Brody's thing is like every Halloween is to dress up as a pilot, and I get that because, in his off time, he actually is a pilot. But after this graphic, dude, like I'm going to be shooting, starting like at the beginning of hockey season next year, I'm going to be just like cropping this where it's just him in that outfit and just shooting that to him every day saying, dude, if you don't get this outfit, you're an asshole.
Oh,
like, because it is like so perfect. If you look at that graphic, it is so perfect for Brody. It really is. It's just such an awesome graphic. Now, would I go and look for a better Batman? Sure. Maybe Hedekin.
Now, see, this is what happened.
I think Biggs would be a great Batman.
No, I love... I'm sorry? What was that, Rocket?
I think Biggs would make a great Batman.
Yes. I would agree. Hey, Randy could make a good Batman. I mean, if somebody has...
Penguin.
No. I think Randy has the experience and the knowledge. He could absolutely put off a awesome Batman.
Yes. No, I could see Randy as a good Batman.
Absolutely. Could you imagine if it was Drew Remenda? Oh my god.
Oh God.
It's
been 4 years. I think we need to.
Oh, I don't even care.
Let's let it go. But where was I?
Oh my god.
I was going to. Wait, no. There we go. So of course, Brody and Curtis do the intermissions on Twitter. Things got a little crazy, and I'll put the blame on AJ here, as they were
What?
As everybody talks about Brody's jacket here on the intermissions, and that's the jacket that Brody's wearing on there right there.
Gen X saying Remenda is actually Lex Luthor, and I have to agree with that.
which makes sense, of course. Yes.
It's not that he's bald or anything.
Yeah, I know, right? But Brody, on the Twitter machine, is this showing up right?
No, it's showing up right, but could you have found a more unflattering photo of either of those guys?
I hit it just at the pause, like 8 seconds in. I know.
Brody, like literally,
here, let me get this.
Oh, geez, it's actually a GIF.
No. This is actually the.
Dude, Puck Guy's day job is not fashion editor. Cut him some slack.
That's right.
No, I'm not saying that, but dude, like when you
No, you are
started
saying
this
that.
pick, no, when he started this pick, like Brody looked like Tucker Carlson whenever he has to speak to anybody, where it's just this like quizzical look on his face, where as Curtis was like looking off to the side, going, I can't figure out, are those
now they look like they're trying to race each other to see who can get undressed faster.
No, Curtis had a look on his face where he like couldn't decide if off camera those were donuts or bagels.
Look at that shot. Look at those zippers. Look at the determination.
Rewind it. Oh
my god.
Rewind it, Puck Guy. No. Really? What happened? No. Continue where you were. All right, keep it going. Right there.
So bossy.
So Brody has no idea if a camera is pointed at him or if he is about to be executed, whereas Kubro is looking off to the side trying to decide if it's a donut or a bagel that he's looking at off camera.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, getting back to this. So people always ask Brody about this one particular jacket that has the Screaming Shark logo on it with the SJ. And in the second intermission, things started to get to the point where it's like, I want to buy that jacket. Of course, there was like an online bidding war going on.
And it's not like I didn't goose that conversation whatsoever.
Not at all. That's why I'm bringing this up. But it got to the point where Brody said that he may auction off the jacket for the Guns and Hoses charities that the Sharks Alumni Foundation used last night in their charity hockey game up at the Snoopy rink in Santa Rosa, which I'm so jealous I wasn't able to go to. But so watch out. I guess he's saying it's also going to have a visit to Brody and Curtis and in the studio. And of course, AJ comes back with what?
What did I come? Oh, I sent a message on Twitter. Not even kidding. I said I will start the bidding at $200 to get Brody's broadcast worn. You've heard game worn. I will bid $200 to get Brody's broadcast worn jacket, but I will bid $250 if I can get it in a men's size. Absolutely. And I'm hoping I can come up next Saturday when the Sharks are on the 23rd, when the Sharks are hosting LA. I can just go up and hang out in the NBCSN studios with them. And so hopefully I can get that jacket in a men's size. And then the rest of the time I can just sit there and poke fun at Curtis's beard, to be honest with you. I mean, we all saw Shark Central where Vlasic just wants to, take a
yes.
Just I don't know what do they call it, an edger, or I forget what it's called.
Trimmer.
Well, there's a word for it, like not an
A
edger.
weed
Or
whacker?
yes, basically a weed whacker. Yeah, where like it's an edger or trimmer. You just want to, man. Like honestly,
Manscaped.
you know what would be really funny is that if you brought Kubro, Thornton, although the racing stripe would give it away, but if you had Kubro, Thornton, and Burns all like behind a curtain where the only thing you saw was between the nose and, well, I guess you'd have to go further because of the whiskers. Okay, so bottom lip.
No, Thornton's has way more of a distinct shape than Burns
Well,
does.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
bottom of the lip to like 8 inches down. If you had that, and other than that, from up and down was just like a curtain or whatever. And you just brought in people and they said, okay, out of those three, which is the worst? I'm honestly not sure who's going to get that between Kubro and Burns because those two are. Thornton's is still beautiful, but
Yes.
Burns and Kubro's, holy crap, guys! It's time to raise some money, boys. Time to raise some more money and get rid of those things because
But
they're putrid.
that's just the shape of their face and the way it grows. Joe Thornton has a glorious face, and he's got a glorious skull and bone structure, and that's why his beard is so glorious. It's not Brent Burns' fault that he has an inferior chin. He should not be punished.
We're
A
talking about
zero one
inferior
two
chins.
A012345. If you brought in a hobo, Burns and Thornton, you can't tell the difference.
Yeah, you can. All you gotta do is close your eyes and sniff real hard.
Oh,
Wow. At that point, folks, I think we've gone completely off the rails here.
I just want to point out, I did not say that.
I
All right.
smelled one hockey
So-
player. Yes, smelled one hockey player.
So with that, we've gone almost an hour 20. So in case you've missed anything or you want to
Hey,
watch or
after
listen to
dark,
this,
after this.
oh boy, join us on the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe down below. We're at 609 now. So obviously we need more Rocket interpretive dance for sure. But nonetheless, hit the subscribe button down below. Of course, you can always hit us up on tealtownusa.com for all your Sharks podcasting needs.
And on Twitter.
And on the Twitter machine. But of course, if you need to watch us again, it's on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube. We might need to get on Spotify somehow. But nonetheless, you can check us out on tealtownusa.com. So with that, final thoughts, Mr. Strong, for this show.
Well,
Thank you, President Reagan.
I'm going to say that the Sharks have gone 2 games in a row where they actually scored 5 goals. One of them clearly in a comeback effort after being down 3-0. Tonight, just a steamroller of a show. Continue the steamroller of a show. Minnesota, should not be anything to worry about. Not like Tampa Bay, clearly. So let's finish the homestand on a high note. Then you go to the 3-game stand before the Christmas break. Well, not before the Christmas break.
Not quite.
Yeah, not quite, but you get a 3-game stand in Western Canada versus Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver. Everybody knows Calgary, Edmonton, and I'm sorry, let me try this again when I give Puck Guy the heads up. So we're going to be playing Calgary, Edmonton, and
Vancouver.
there you go. So I think the Sharks should easily be able to deal with those teams. Although Edmonton does scare me a little bit. Anyway.
Yeah, that'll be the first playoff rematch as well.
Exactly. So let's finish that off. Do a little 3-game stand. Get into the holidays. We're going to finish it off. That you look at the teams that the Sharks are facing between now and the end of the month. LA next Saturday. That's pretty much like the only team you really have to be down for the cause because that's the only team that's below you in the standings. So take advantage of that fact. Other than that, I am AJ Strong on the Instagram, on the Twitter, also doing Teal Town USA on the Instagram with help from Rocket Backhander. We will be doing Pucknologists late into the evening tomorrow night. So you can look forward to it tomorrow, late tomorrow, early Monday. Could be fun because Rocket's involved, and anything Rocket is involved with, always fun.
Fun must be
That's
always.
so true. The IRS loves getting my taxes.
This is all I'm saying.
And with that, Miss Backhander, your final thoughts on the night.
Final thoughts. Hey, as we squarely walk past the third of a way through this here NHL season, let's not fool ourselves into thinking this is suddenly some sort of NHL Stanley Cup finalist contender here. This is still a very, as AJ has pointed out, a beat up team and a team that's missing quite a bit of offensive production out there. Although the defensive core has it on lockdown. I'd like to see them build off of this.
Jesus Christ, I love it when she does the deep voice.
Oh, thank you. I'd like to see them build off of this emotional win towards something greater, and to see them finally just start to get their legs underneath them, solidify an identity, and scoot their way closer to closing that 9-point gap. Oh, and with that, my name is Rocket Backhand, and you can find me on Twitter talking about hockey, showing off the latest Teal purchases. That's right. I buy a lot of Teal. And just bitching about life in Nashville because it's fun to bitch about this place. It really is a lot of fun to bitch about it. It's fun to live here, but it's fun to bitch. My Twitter handle is R, B, little Ackhander 76, or you can find the visual representation of my life in still photographs on Instagram. That's Rocket Backhander, one word. On Instagram, and that's it, kids. Like, good for you.
You want to know how to close the gap? Talk to Rocket.
Yes. I'm Eric. You can reach me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, not SoundCloud, no. On
SoundCloud, Google
Snapchat.
Play, Stitcher.
Oh my God, he's so just like
14.
Ooh.
And with that, we will leave you with this because we jumped on right afterwards. I've had the piece since the fourth goal. With that, good night, everyone. Keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real, Teal.
Keep it real.